1370 WOCA.
6 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this beautiful Friday morning. I hope you're doing well. Sometimes when the weather is as beautiful as this, don't you feel like just getting away and doing something that is not as stressful as what you're probably doing? Dr. Chloe Carmichael is on the phone with us. She is one of those doctors we speak to now and then where stress is a primary central point of the topics. Dr. Carmichael is a licensed clinical psychologist. She's an expert in anxiety. She teaches stress management techniques at Fortune 500 companies. And among other things, stress can affect your efforts to become pregnant. How about that for a way to introduce the topic today, 3 tips to alleviate fertility stress. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good morning, Larry. Thanks so much for having me back. It's good to be with you again.
Yeah, I think last time I told you just listening to your voice will help me calm down.
Oh, well, thank you.
And where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York City. My practice is here on Park Avenue in Manhattan.
So how does stress affect a couple's efforts to have a baby?
Well, Larry, it can affect a couple in several ways. First of all, just from the medical standpoint, when our stress levels are high, our fertility is actually lower. What's also interesting to me as a psychologist is that when the stress levels are high, that's when couples might actually be less likely to make love. They might get into arguments. They might just feel
that makes sense. Yeah.
And actually, of course, we know that lovemaking is essential to having a baby. So I know last time I was here as well, I shared about the Fruitful app, which is an app that I'm consulting with that I like because it provides couples with a heads up about when their fertile window is coming and gives them relationship tips to help them remember to make love during their fertile window, because that's the cheapest and most natural way to increase your fertility.
And the question, we were talking about this morning as we were talking about the fact that you were coming on, and Robert, I said, well, where's the stress part of that? And she said, well, because you're so stressed out because, oh gosh, the window's open and we got to do it right now. Hurry up, you got to get home. And I said, I don't think the husband is stressed. I think he's fine. Just come on, just all he has to do is drive home and have fun.
Well, yes and no. I mean, certainly the first couple of times that he gets the call from his wife, I mean, what man wouldn't love that, right?
Right.
But underneath it, a lot of men also like to be in the driver's seat. They like to initiate sex. And women also certainly like that sometimes too, but whenever it just gets to be that it's always this way, it can get to be old hat. So what the Fruitful app does is it gives the man a nudge to say, hey, this is your wife's fertile window. Why don't you take her out to dinner tonight, for example? And then the man gets to feel like he's not just being...
Oh, I see.
You know, it can be fun, Larry. I see your point.
That's a real psychological
It's nice to mix it up a little
way
bit.
to do it. So how does it work? How does the app work?
Well, both partners sign up, and they both give a little bit of information about their age and other things like that can affect fertility. And the Fruitful company also has supplements that increase fertility. So the app will then suggest to you which supplements you should take, and it will remind you as well at the times of day that you need to take the supplements, which is another source of stress. People say, oh my gosh, I need to take my supplements.
Yeah, right,
I need
right.
to track my ovulation. I need to do this and that. And it can almost take the fun out of it. So the Fruitful app does all the legwork for people. I also encourage people to just have a game plan, because the stress sometimes can come out of simple uncertainty. So when the couple is saying, okay, well, we've been trying for a couple months now and we're still not pregnant, but the couple, maybe the man doesn't know if the wife is stressed out about it. He doesn't want to say anything and make it worse, but she's also thinking the same thing, and they're kind of just second-guessing and making it up as they go along. So in my 3-step plan, Step number 1 is to develop a game plan, so the couple can sit down together and say, okay, maybe for the first 3 months, we're just going to, use the Fruitful app, have sex during our fertile window, and see what happens. And then they decide in advance, okay, if we're not pregnant 3 months out from now, then we're going to see a fertility specialist and make sure that everything's working, all the man's sperm are swimming, and the woman is ovulating, and they can even plan it out all the way out to saying, if they're older, they might really want to say, okay, and how do we feel about adoption? If we try all this for 2 years and we're not pregnant, then how do we feel about adoption? Not that they want to their preference is to have their own baby, but by taking the guesswork out and having a game plan in advance, it really reduces the stress.
Yeah, yeah. So does the stress affect the man biologically, as far as that goes?
Oh, absolutely. Stress
Really?
affects men biologically.
Well, no, I don't
100%.
mean the men, but I mean the sperm. Does the stress would it affect the future baby?
Sure, like the man's motility and sperm count and all those things. To be honest, Larry, that's a little bit outside my area of expertise. I'm not a medical doctor, but I do know that, for example, increasing your testosterone for men does often relate to the motility and the count of the sperm. And when we are under stress, sometimes the testosterone can drop. So by having more sex and keeping your testosterone high as a man, that's always going to be a point in favor for your fertility.
There you go. That sounds like a good plan. That's part of the plan? That sounds
that's part of the plan.
What we're talking about is probably getting some people interested, and they probably want to know, before we run out of time, how to find out. Is there a website that you would recommend?
Absolutely. The Fruitful app that I've mentioned is actually available in the App Store. They can do the Fruitful app. And they can also go to fertilirelationships.com, which will take you to a page on my website that has more of my tips about couples and fertility stress. So they can go to fertilirelationships.com, or they can get the Fruitful app. I would actually do all of the above.
The female Viagra, or whatever they call it, the let's see, I don't know that I've seen any ads for it, but the articles say it's more about getting in the mood than the physical. Like with the male Viagra, it's about the physical, the female, right? Am I right about that?
Well, the male Viagra is actually about the man's ability to have an erection. So it's one of the most frustrating things in the world, of course, for a man if he's aroused, but he can't get an erection. And so Viagra will help with that. The female pill helps the woman to get in the mood. And there's plenty of women in my practice who are absolutely in the mood. They're having sex all the time, but they're not getting pregnant. And so what usually oftentimes is the issue is that they're not having sex during their fertile window. And so that's the key for women.
Well, and I guess this is a dumb question. At 61 years old, I should know this answer. But does a woman need to be in the mood in order to get pregnant?
No, that's an interesting question.
Okay.
A pregnancy can actually occur. It's really just about her ovulating, and that's why I like the Fruitful app, because it helps the woman and the man to know when the woman is ovulating so that they can make sure they take advantage of her fertile window, which is about 5 or 6 days a month.
So if he's in the mood, but she's really not, but she's like, you know what, go ahead, I'll just lay here. I mean, a baby could still happen, right?
Well, that's true, but again, what I like about the Fruitful app is that it is giving people relationship-oriented reminders so that the man isn't just going to come home and say, hey, you're in your fertile window, let's do it. He's going to say, I've got roses, and he doesn't even have to mention her fertile window. He can just know in his mind that she's in her fertile window and come home and romance her.
Dr. Chloe, you have a website that's your website, right? drchloe.com?
That's right, drchloe.com or fertilirelationships.com to go to my webpage specifically about fertility tips for couples.
Okay, just say that one more time so our listeners can get it, and we're recording it, of course.
Sure, so it's fertilirelationships.com to go to my webpage on relationships and couples, and the Fruitful app is in the App Store.
Are you in Times Square? I mean, you in the Times Square area?
I'm very close to Times Square. As you know, Times Square is on 42nd and Broadway.
Yeah.
I'm on 44th Street, a little east of there by Grand Central Station.
What was going on in Times Square this morning? There was some exercising going on. I was looking at the webcam. Do you know what was going on?
You know, to be honest, Larry, I have no idea. I've just been working away here. There's so many things going on in Times Square every day. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
But
Dr. Chloe, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you on the air with us. And for the listeners, we did record this. It'll be up on Facebook and YouTube by this afternoon, and you can share it or go to the websites for the best way to kind of look into this one, drchloe.com. And what was the other one again? One more time?
Sure, the Fruitful app and fertilerelationships.com.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Larry and Robin, thanks so much for having me. Have a great day.
You're welcome. You too. We'll be right back.
Oh my, how did another 365 days go by? If you're looking to make a change in 2016, get involved in the health scene. Get rid of the old and try something new, like acupuncture at A Better You. Pain in your joints or knees? Throw out your back every time you sneeze? Then acupuncture is sure to please. From pain to allergies, even the flu, come get acupuncture at A Better You. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein with A Better You Healthcare today at 352